Hi, my name is Promise and this is IELTS with Abraham Said. On this video, I'm going to be showing you some secrets to tackling completion questions on the IELTS reading test. Like you know, there are different question types on the IELTS reading test, and some of them require that you complete sentences or tables or notes or summaries or flowcharts and so on. And there are strategies to apply when you are trying to attempt such questions in order to make sure that you meet up with the time that is allotted for the entire reading test. Remember, the time is 1 hour and you need to complete your test to get a chance of scoring a high band score on the reading test. And so I have a few questions we're going to look at now together with the passage that has been extracted, and I'm going to walk you through how to attempt such questions. So as you can see on your screen, I have 4 questions here. It's written questions 1 to 4. And then the first instruction there tells me that this particular question type is a completion question type because it says complete the notes below. So when it comes to completion question types in the IELTS reading test, you have instructions like complete the notes, complete the sentences, complete the table, and so on and so forth. And by completing the notes, it means that you are expected to fill in gaps that have been provided. So you have an instruction that says, choose one word only from the passage for each answer. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer, meaning that you have to select a word from the passage in order to be able to fit that word into the gap that has been provided. And then you have an instruction that says, write your answers in boxes 1 to 4 on your answer sheet. So all that's expected of you to do on your answer sheet is just to write the exact word that you have selected. You do not need to write the notes down in your answer sheet. Please bear that in mind. Okay, so when you have this kind of questions, what do you do? How do you approach this? Now you will see that there is a title that is before you, which says the nutmeg tree and fruits. That's the title of the notes. And it means that from the passage, there must be a paragraph or two where the nutmeg tree and fruits were discussed, and that is where these notes have been extracted from. Remember that the notes will be paraphrased information from the passage. And so you have 4 questions, 4 gaps to fill, but then you notice that you have 5 bullet points, meaning that you have 5 notes that are here. So 1 note is not going to be used, but then you have 4 other notes to fill up. And so you have the passage. The passage is obviously longer than this, but then I've selected a paragraph that will be useful for our work. Now, how do we find the answers? So to find the answers, all you need to do is to go to the questions and then you read the first notes and try to predict the words that will most likely be least paraphrased in the passage. So the first note here says the leaves of the tree are dash in shape. Now looking at what I have here, the words in shape will probably be paraphrased, but leaves of the tree would most likely not be paraphrased. Like at best, even if they're paraphrased, you have maybe tree leaves or leaves. And then before I go over to the passage, I would also look at the notes and try to interpret it, because it's not enough for me to just go to the passage to look for leaves or leaves of tree. I could get to the passage and find leaves of tree appear like 2 or 3, 4 times in different places, and then I will get confused. So I need to read the notes, because the word I'm going to select from the passage must fit into the gap, not just grammatically but also contextually. So the note says the leaves of the tree are dash in shape. That means the leaves of the tree are perhaps, maybe they are round in shape, or they are triangular in shape, or they are spherical in shape, and so on and so forth. So it's about the shape of the leaves of the tree. So when I go to the passage, I'm not just looking for leaves of the tree, but I'm also looking for the shape of those leaves. And so when I go to the passage now, I look for leaves. And then if you look at the 4th line, you see oval leaves. That means that particular sentence will probably be useful. And then I glance through the rest of the paragraph and I can't find leaves again anywhere else. So that means that that 4th line will be relevant. But I'm not going to just pick the word beside leaves as my answer. Instead, I would go back to the beginning of that sentence. So the sentence starts from the third line and says, the tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough dark green oval leaves, and produces small yellow bell-shaped flowers and pale yellow pear-shaped fruits, full stop. So you have to read the sentence from the beginning to the end so that you can get the full meaning of that sentence. And then you go back to the question one more time, and then look at the question. It says, the leaves of the tree are dashed in shape. That means you want to get the right word now. What is the shape of the leaves of the tree? So when you go back to that sentence, you discover that there are a number of information that's provided concerning the tree, but you are concerned with the one for leaves. Now, the tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough dark green oval leaves. Now we have tough, we have dark green, and we have oval. The right word would definitely not be tough, nor dark green, but it will be oval, because that's the only word that suggests the shape of the leaves. And so that means that the right word will be oval. So we have the leaves of the tree are oval in shape. So you write oval as your answer, and preferably write your answers in block letters so that your examiner can clearly see your handwriting. Then number 2, 3, and 4. Number 2, the dash surrounds the fruits and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. So the question is about what surrounds the fruits. The dash surrounds the fruits and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. So what surrounds the fruits? If we go back now, one thing you need to bear in mind is that for these types of questions, the answers most of the time come sequentially. It means that from that point where we found the answer to question 1, we only need to read downwards in order to find the answers to 2, 3, and 4. So for number 2, we're looking out for what surrounds the fruits and breaks open. Now, it's not the fruit that's breaking open, but that item that surrounds the fruit is the one that also breaks open when the fruit is ripe. So when you go back to that same sentence, that sentence, it says, the tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough dark green oval leaves and produces small yellow bell-shaped flowers and pale yellow pear-shaped fruits. Now, from that sentence, we can't really find any useful information as regards what surrounds the fruit. So we move quickly to the next sentence that says, the fruit is encased in a fleshy husk, and that suggests surrounding. Encased means the fruit is put inside a fleshy husk. And then when you move to the next sentence, it says, when the fruit is ripe, this husk splits into 2 halves. So that means that the right word will be husk, H-U-S-K. So the husk surrounds the fruits and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. It's that simple. The third one says that the dash is used to produce the spice nutmeg. So what is used to produce the spice nutmeg now? Now, when you look at the sentence that starts with when the fruit is ripe on line 5, this husk splits into this and this and this. There's no information there. So you rapidly move on to the next sentence. Now we are on line 6. And then line 6, you have inside is a purple brown shiny seed, 2 to 3 centimeters long by blah blah blah, surrounded by a lacy red or crimson covering called an harrow. Okay, from there we've still not found information as regards to what is used to produce the spice nutmeg. Now I said these are the sources of the 2 spices, nutmeg and mace. So we have 2 spices here, nutmeg and mace. And it said these are the sources. So the information we had in the previous sentence will be useful. Then it says, these are the sources of 2 spices, nutmeg and mace. The sentence continues, the former being produced from the dry seed and the latter from the harrow. Okay, so the former, which automatically means the nutmeg, is being produced from the dry seed. So the nutmeg is produced from the dry seed. Okay, so it said the dash is used to produce the spiced nutmeg. That means that it's going to be the seed. Now we have dried seed, but then the instruction says choose one word only. And so I would go with seed as the right word there. And then the next one is the covering known as the aril is used to produce dash. The covering known as the aril is used to produce. So what is the aril used to produce? And then you have that same sentence says, these are the sources of the 2 spices, nutmeg and mace, the former being produced from the dry seed and the latter from the harrow, meaning the aril is used to produce something. So we now go back now to the beginning of that sentence. It says, these are the sources of the two spices, nutmeg and mace. So the former will be nutmeg and the latter is mace. So that means the mace is what is produced from the harrier. And the question says the covering known as the harrier is used to produce dash, which automatically means it is the mace. So that is that for the 4 questions we have for this type of question type. So please, I want you to take note that these strategies can also be applied to table completion, to sentence completion, to summary completion, to any completion question type whatsoever. You can apply these particular techniques I have shown you. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this particular video. I'm sure you have learned a whole lot from this video lesson. Please remember to like, to comment, and to share this video, and also do well to subscribe to this channel to have access to more video lessons on the IELTS test. Thank you very much and enjoy.